You're not in the background. All right. We're live. I moved the camera so Kaylee can't be seen. I actually probably should put on a better show for this. Let some people get in here. Change it up. No, we probably don't need the whole thing, but all right. What do we got? We got no one. Still, two people. All right. All right. What's going on, everybody? Maybe if I bring this over a little more. Let's see. Kaylee doesn't want to be seen. She's in the kitchen right now. Kaylee's taking a day off from the channel, and she's in the kitchen where she belongs. I had a rough day today, everybody. I went to the dentist, and they told me that they told me things I didn't want to hear. Not one bit. They were like, "Oh, hey, do you have like $60,000 or $70,000 lying around?" I was like, "No," and they're like, "Well, then you better kill yourself." Or as everything online nowadays says, you better unalive yourself. Have you noticed this? Like in any like subtitling, it's always unalive instead of kill or suicide. This is all like pussy triggering bullshit, right? This is all like we can't use language because people are gonna get all upset. Right. That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. You can't say the word kill. You have to say unalive.
I think it's also for like censoring, like because I think the algorithms.
That would make sense.
If you say suicide or if you say kill,
that would make sense. That would make sense. Duritan, Brian Sanchez, and Ricky, the sexy Jesus himself. What are all the hearts? Like, where do those come from? Maya's here. Yeah, but there's like 100 of them. No one's pressing that many hearts. It could be Duritan just spamming the hearts. Engage with your audience. Start a Q&A. Answer viewer questions live, or start a poll. Okay, start a poll. Let's say, shit. All right, let's see. Let's see what everyone says about that. I didn't even know that was an option. To start a poll. So I have 100% right now that I'm sexy. 100%. Someone is going to break my streak and it's going to go like 50-50, but that's okay. That's okay. I have made it. What's up, Silent Evil? So yeah. If you guys did not see, for anyone who's in here, for the last week and a half now, I have been polling you guys. That sounds dirty. On your favorite part this or part that in the Big Five. What's your favorite part 2 in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Child's Play? I went through all of them. The remakes, what you want to see in the future. If you have not voted, now's the time. Who said no? That's okay. Not everybody needs to think I'm sexy, especially with these gnarly teeth. That's going to cost me $60,000 to fix. I don't expect anybody to think I'm sexy with
I
these.
think you're sexy.
That's the only one that matters right there. Kaylee needs to vote. So
I'm gonna
anyway,
show my.
there's Kaylee's hand. She's feeling daring enough to show her hand. What are your thoughts on the last voyage of the Demeter? We were fine with it.
Yeah.
I liked how bleak it was. I thought it had a great aesthetic and atmosphere. The monster looked cool enough. Unfortunately, we found it to be repetitive. It just kind of felt like a rinse, lather, repeat. Like every night, it was the same thing. And I really do wish that the whole movie took place over one night, and that there was more carnage. But I think it's a great concept, and I think that more people, or I think that they should have given it more time to flesh that idea out. But I do think that it is a cool concept, and that's a really cool thing to explore within some kind of more well-known story. So hi hand. Yeah, see, high hand. Your hair is looking pretty stylish. All right, enough with this poll. 70% of the people who voted, 69%, 10 votes out of the 17 people in here, 70%. So yeah, it's 7 out of 10 would have sexual relations with me. What about you? Do people think you're sexy?
No, I don't want to know.
No. If one person voted no, Kayla would probably jump off the balcony.
That's not true.
I can handle the 30%. In fact, I could probably handle the 100% no. I'm all right. So we're going to let a couple more people pile in here. Once again, if you have not voted, definitely do so now. Now's the time. I am going to go through my picks, but this was fun. I was pretty surprised, honestly, by a couple, and not surprised at all by others. But I think it's the percentage that was fun to see. How many people, and we got quite a bit of voting. Each one of these averaged about 500 votes apiece, so it wasn't a small pool to draw from. I was actually pretty happy with that. I thought, sometimes I do polls and we get like 200-300, which is great. I see other people's polls and they don't even bring in 100. Shit, some of them have like 10-20. So to have 500 is wonderful. So if you want to know where to vote, you just go to the page, just Sinister Cinema channel. Just click on that, maybe bring it up in another window, or if you're on your phone, just go away from the stream for a minute and just look in the feed and you'll see it. So yeah, just make sure you vote really quick. It's not probably going to change anything, honestly, with 500 votes per. Most of them, obviously, like a couple more votes at the end aren't going to change anything, but 8%. But get your vote in real quick. I look like I'd make a good nurse. Okay. I could see that. I look like an orderly. Is that because I look orderly right now? Don't worry about anyone thinking you're sexy. Love yourself. I love myself every day, twice on Saturdays. Okay. I don't get to do it that much. I have to love Kaylee here and there as well. but I'm well serviced by all participants. Which is just me and Kaylee, for the record. So yeah, I'm gonna look right now because I haven't looked. Just Base Baskin, however you say that. I was a big fan of that one. When it came out, there was a big split in the community. I thought that was a really evil movie, and I was pretty surprised. I shouldn't be surprised that anybody hates a movie these days. I feel like that's just kind of what people do nowadays. There is just a hate train that kind of starts gathering speed, and it becomes very cool. And I feel like every year has at least one or two movies that just people love to group together and quote unquote dunk on. And I feel like this year, thus far, that movie currently is The Crow remake. That seems to be the movie right this moment that everyone is like kind of rallying behind hating, which is always kind of weird to me for a movie no one has seen. I mean, I get it. You get a sense of a feel and it's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But it's just the level. That's always been the most fascinating aspect to me, is just the level and of vitriol. It's like it becomes part of people's personalities and their daily life to like make sure they go and join as many forums and go into as many comment threads and everything as they possibly can, just so that they can feel like they're a part of something. And I just feel like that's a pretty lame way to be on things. Anyway, Thai Stomp, what's going on? It feels like a mix between Hellraiser, The Void, and Malum. You know, it's been a while since I watched Baskin Robbins. But I remember, I just remember it being really, really evil. And I really liked the feel and the aesthetic of it, for sure. Those American VHS slipcases are crazy looking. We didn't get them like that in Ireland. No? Okay. Well, you guys got like more of the clamshell casings, like these. Is this more of like what you guys were used to? I hated when we did this, because when we used to get they cut the box and then they'd put it in these, and then sometimes they would have like locking mechanisms on these, but typically it was just to kind of preserve the tape, because these could take more of a beating than just kind of putting a plastic covering over this. So a lot of the times when you got these from video stores, they had cut boxes, and a lot of them would actually sell them without these shells on them. And it would just like take the box, like I have a couple of them where it's like that's all I have is that part of the casing, which I think one of my leprechauns is like that. Like leprechaun, like where you get the case and it's just the cut box, which is super lame. I hate that. But that was all I could find, because when the Hollywood videos and Blockbusters went out of when they were changing over to DVD, they were just selling these things for nothing, $1, 50 cents, buy 3 get 1 free kind of thing. I went down to all of them and I bought up everything. That's how I got half this collection. I was very diligent. I drove around to probably 40 locations, 50 locations, and just went to every store that I did the same when they went out of business, and I got all the DVDs. That's how I got all the After Dark Horror Fest. I got all 4 years in completion. I drove around to each one of them, kept a list on me, checked them off. I've always been just a diligent collector. So, is that, let's see. Cut boxes. Clam cases. I have some that are 40 years old. Yeah, okay. So that's how you guys got them. Remember the big boxes? I don't have my one. I only had one ever that I owned, and it was Silent Night, Deadly Night. It came in the big box. Remember those? The big ass boxes. For some reason, they were like twice the size of VHS. Unfortunately, now, you can only usually find them just the tape itself, which is such a shame. And another thing I hate is when they used to cut the boxes here, right there. I don't know why they did that, but they did it on both sides. So I do have some like that, and it annoys the shit out of me that, but everyone loves seeing this sticker. My wife is big into that. In fact, so much so, it's always so hard to do things backwards. There's the fucking the horror rug right there. Why is it so hard to do? Like everything in my brain is like, it's that way. No, it's this way. No, it's this way. Okay, there it is. The horror sticker as a rug in the house. But they're just iconic at this point. It was always what you were looking for. It's like every freaking video store had the same one. They were always like green. I don't know why, but that's like the one they sent out to every store. Would love to hear your thoughts on The Walking Dead, The Loved Ones. The Loved Ones? What the hell? The Ones Who Live. I read that as that Australian freaking movie, The Loved Ones. Yeah, I mean, I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I've been busy doing other things. I'm not in love with it like everyone else is. I like it though, and I'm a bigger Walking Dead supporter than most people. Right? I'm not the one who gave up on The Walking Dead. I watched every season. I never quit on it. And I thought, season 8 was lame. But then season 9 through 11 were great. And I was so stoked that I stuck with it because I loved season 9, 10, and 11. So, and I liked Daryl Dixon's show. I liked the Dead City, the Maggie and Negan show. I'll watch the other episodes here next week. Next week I'm going to finish the whole thing up because we get the season finale here on Sunday, and then I'll have all of them to binge, and then I can give you a more thorough thoughts. You've been watching X-Men and Ghostbusters shit all weekend. I'm watching X-Men, the original X-Men animated series, to prep for 97. I know 97 already came out, but I'm kind of prepping for a binge, but whatever. I do love Bill Skarsgård though. Going to give it a chance. Yeah, I'm completely obsessed with it, along with Void and Malin. I'm not saying the movie is going to be bad. I just don't like the sheen, polish Hollywood look. Oh, The Crow, yeah. I get that.
You want this?
Yeah, it's fine. All right, so we should get to the stickers don't come off. I haven't seen the Chucky TV series, so in all fairness, I did not vote on the polls that involved it. Oh, you didn't vote on those at all. Okay. You could have just voted for whatever you liked. That's fine. What is the worst horror film of the year so far for you? The worst of the year? What did we watch that we hated? Imaginary was really bad, unfortunately. I'm usually the guy who likes to support the Blumhouse shit. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. It's probably not. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's headphones. But I watched one without Kaylee the other day. I haven't reviewed it yet. I'm going to probably review it tonight. Founders Day was terrible. Yeah. That was horrible. No, I watched without Kaylee another one on Screambox called Followers. That was pretty terrible. That was like a wannabe You're Next. It was bad. But we did watch an upcoming movie that will be released in theaters April 12th. We are on embargo until the 1st of April. April Fool's. No, it's not, though. That's Monday. We're going to record the review tomorrow, and it is for Sting. We did see Sting. We saw the Spider movie Sting. We are prepping for that movie by watching other Spider movies, so we're going to have a little Spider-thon. We watched Spiders. We were going to watch Arachnophobia. But yeah, Sting. Look forward to that review coming soon. As I said, I can't say much, but it was definitely not the worst movie of the year. That's all I'm going to say. You can speculate on that all you want. But we have seen it. And I am under embargo because we got a screener. But guys, get this. I'll say this and then we're going to get to the vote. Make this make sense to me. Kaylee's favorite. So, Screen Unseen. If you guys don't know what Screen Unseen is, they're AMC and other theaters chains will do this as well, but AMC around here does these Screen Unseen showings where one showing, one night only at like 7:00, they say, you know, we're playing a horror movie or we're playing a comedy. We're not going to tell you what it is. We're only going to tell you what genre it is, what it's rated, and around about how long it is. And then you can kind of speculate, but you don't know what it's going to be when you go into it. Unfortunately, those play on Mondays, and I have my kids on Monday. So there's nothing I can do about it. And we were going to go, and there was this speculation that it was Sting. And we all were like convinced it was Sting. And then we thought, well, maybe it's Infested, this Shudder movie that's coming out in like April. And we were like, well, I think it's April. Might be. I don't know. But Sting is definitely April 12th. So anyway, it does release. And it is Sting, as we had speculated. And a bunch of my friends saw it. And they loved it. I can tell you that. I can tell you they loved it. But I can't tell you my thoughts on it yet. This doesn't make any sense to me. Why do a whole bunch of random ass people who went to the theater to see this thing, like a mystery showing, why can they go on their YouTube channels and talk about this thing? But us, you know, reviewers who were sent screeners by the company, we're not allowed to talk about it until the 1st. I don't understand that. That makes zero sense to me. If you've already released it to the public, yes, it was a special screening, but the people who saw it, and they're not under embargo. Because I asked them, did they say like to hold your reviews or something when you went in the theater? And they're like, no, of course not. So why is it that they're allowed to review this thing and we're not allowed to review this thing? Makes literally no sense. So I had to agree to an embargo till Monday for a movie that's already been seen by thousands of people, like not reviewers. Anybody make sense of that? I can't. Stop motion was great. Love Lies Bleeding was great. And Violent Nature looks great. So definitely looking forward to both of those. And that's that. Okay. So if you have not voted, your time is up. So let us look at this. I'm going to pull things up here. And we're going to get into it. So let's bring you guys back up here. We'll go to the channel. And we're going to start here. Stop trying to sell me shit. Community. Here we go. Okay. So for those of you who missed it, over the last about week and a half, I have been posting polls to ask you which part 3 or 4 or 5 is your favorite of the big 5. The big 5 being Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Child's Play. You guys all voted, and we're here to discuss it. So let's do so. We got 30 people here. That seems like a good enough number. You guys are waiting. So let's discuss. I am also extremely excited for Cuckoo as well. Trailer looks cool. I've actually seen quite a few trailers. We got 2 new ones today that look good. Them Season 2 got a trailer, which I'm really excited for. I love Season 1. And then we got another one with Eddie from Stranger Things called Horde, which also looked really, really good. So, okay, here we go. Starting with part 2. So, which part 2? So, what do you guys think? Don't ruin it and go look at what won. Just What do you guys think? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Halloween 2, Friday 2, Child's Play 2, or Nightmare on Elm Street? I'm going to start at the bottom here. This breaks my heart. This breaks my heart. So at last place with only 10% of the vote, 543 votes in, the last place at 10% of the vote, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, last place. Terrible. Terrible. In fourth place, coming in at 13%. This is gonna hurt Kaylee. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. These are now, neither of these are surprising, right? Of course, because these are two very maligned films. They were not well received upon release, and they have a cult following for sure, but they are not beloved. They are not beloved. So that doesn't shock me. All right. In third place, we have, with 19% of the vote, Friday the 13th, Part 2. That's surprising. That's actually surprising that that's in third place. Honestly, there's a lot of Friday stands that frequent this channel. So to see it in third place, especially Part 2. Part 2 super beloved. So I'm actually kind of shocked by that. But coming in at second place with 21% of the vote, this surprises me a bit. But it is probably the most beloved in this franchise, and that is Child's Play 2. 21% for Child's Play 2. So, yeah, I mean, that's a big chunk. That's over 100 people out of the 543 went Child's Play 2. And of course, in number one with 36%, 1/3 of the vote, Halloween 2. I honestly, like, if I would have picked, I would have thought Friday 2. Maybe then Halloween 2. Then probably Child's Play. Then Nightmare. And I would have probably thought Texas was last. So I was pretty off on this one, honestly. For me, if I had to rank this, that's super tough. These are all beloved to me. I love all 5 of these, kind of, honestly. Like, so that's just it too. Like, I don't want anyone to think that just because, something is voted for the least doesn't mean that half the people who voted for this don't love that movie. That's not what this is. This isn't what movie do you love and all the rest are trash to you. That's not how this poll works. It's just who, which one do you like the most? I don't know. 36% for Halloween 2, crushing the one in second place at 21%. That's a pretty crippling defeat, honestly. Halloween 2, people love it. I don't see it high on a lot of people's lists, honestly, when I look at Halloween rankings. So, man, Halloween is loved. So, there you go. If I had to put it in order, I'll just say my favorite of these, because putting it in order would be kind of hard. If I picked here, I would say that's tough. Honestly, probably Nightmare. Just because it's, I don't know. There's something about it. It's like an underdog for me. I've watched it maybe the most. I don't know.
This was
Friday, Halloween, and Nightmare are the ones. I don't know. I've watched Child's Play 2 a lot as well. This is the hardest one for you? The hardest one for me is 4. The hardest one for me is 4.
Are wonderful. They're all like so good.
I literally cannot. I did go through on my kid's phone and vote for each one of these myself. I can't remember exactly which ones I voted for, to be completely honest. But the one I could not come to a conclusion on was 4. I literally couldn't do it. And we'll get there. But we'll talk about it then. But I don't know. This one is really hard, and kudos to everyone who picked and voted. Thank you for voting, everybody who did participate. But any one of these for me is a totally fine answer. I don't blame anyone for picking literally any one of these. I think they're all wonderful in their own right. And I could pick any one of these and I'd feel comfortable with it. So I think that's what I would say about it. It's honestly a real big toss up for me between Halloween, Friday, and Nightmare. And I love Texas and Child's Play 2 as well. But those are the three that are really, really, really close contention for me. But I'll just go with Nightmare because it's kind of the underdog and it got last place. All right. Next up is part 3 of the Big Five franchise here. This one is absolutely devastating in the favor of number 1. It's not even close. It's not even close. This one absolutely ran away with the vote. So, all right. So in last place, this I agree with 100%. This is easily the worst for me. At 4% of the vote, I'm happy to see this. Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. It's not good. I've just never been a fan of this movie. I find it boring. I've watched it many times. No hate on anybody who likes it. You know, there are obviously like maybe 30 or 40 people who voted for it here. Out of these, I can't imagine anyone. I honestly thought there was going to be one film that was going to get 0%. But none of the films got 0%. None of them. I really thought that something like Resurrection, something like, that was going to get a 0. But nope, there are fans, and it is what it is. And it's going up against other part 3s, so and 8s and whatever. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 gets so much negative feedback for breaking the rules, even though literally every Nightmare film does it 100%. 100%. I don't even know what the rules are of Nightmare on Elm Street at this point. So, yeah, they're all guilty of it. So, coming in at 4th place at 5%, just 1% higher, so very little extra, Child's Play 3. This is also another one that a lot of people don't like. I am a big fan of this one. I've watched it quite a bit. I don't think people like the recasting of Andy. I think that's a big issue for people, but they aged him up and they wanted to make it pretty quick. So it doesn't bother me. And going up against Kid Andy again, I do find to be annoying. In concept, it's like, okay, it makes Chucky look like an idiot. Right? It's 2 films in a row. He can't kill a child, but he can kill adults right and left. It's like, I mean, I know he's not trying to kill him. He's trying to take his soul. But even after he fails, he still can't kill him. And it's like, okay. That being said, though, people would fight very hard to protect a child. So it's not like he's just facing off with Andy. He's facing off on the people who are willing to die for a child. So I guess it kind of makes sense. And Chucky is a doll. It's not like he has a lot of strength. Moving on. All right. In 3rd place with 21% of the vote, big jump, Friday the 13th, part 3, 3D. This is one that I love. I'm a huge fan of. I've always been a big fan of it. I know people are, a lot of the debate on what the best Friday film is for most people is 2 and 4. So 3 is just kind of ignored because it's right in the middle of the 2 most beloved. I love it. I've always loved it. It's where he gets his mask, right? It's got some great stuff to it. It's got some things that I don't like, but of course, I mean, everything does. I'd love to watch it in 3D. I mean, they sell it in 3D. You just have to have a 3D TV, which I do not have. All right, coming in at 23% of the vote at 2nd place, we have Dun 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 dun. One more day to Halloween. Halloween. Season of the Witch. Halloween 3. Yeah. What can I say? I love this film. It's the underdog. It's high though. I mean, think about that, guys. Think about that. Like Halloween 3, when it was, when it came out, it was hated. It was hated. It was detested. It was shunned. It was booed. It was, people freaking wanted this thing burned. They wanted it gone. And in the years since, it now has enough to garner 1/4 of the votes on what the best part 3 is. So that's pretty impressive. And for it to win second place against the major franchises against it is pretty incredible, honestly. If this poll was released then, this would be at 0%. This would have been that movie. So it's really jumped up tremendously over the years, and I love it. I adore it. And of course, no surprise here. This is no surprise. With 47% of the vote, I think this has the highest win of any of these. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. It's most people's favorite nightmare film. So that's not a surprise. I like it. I'm not a huge fan of it like most people are. I do like it quite a bit. I don't love it anywhere near as much as 2, but I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't love it. Like, it's not like a religion to me like a lot of people. This is like their nightmare movie. And they love it. It's like I know plenty of people who this is their favorite movie. So I'm just not that high on it. This one's pretty easy for me. It's Halloween 3. That's an easy pick. That was not hard to vote on for me at all. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch takes the cake for me. Kaylee agrees. Did you pick a 2? Kaylee hasn't picked a 2.
My favorite.
Yep. Kaylee, no, you got to pick one. I picked one, and I'm going to pick one for 4. I'm going to pick one for 4, so you can pick one for 2. You have a minute.
The one that I picked was Texas Chainsaw.
So Kaylee went with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. There you go. You picked. And now it's in stone. You hate every other film on the list. Somewhere around 2009, 2010, Halloween 3 became reevaluated. Not sure why, but I'm glad. You think that's when it happened? That might be true. The last 20 minutes of part 3 are amazing. Which one? we're talking about a lot of part 3s right now. A lot of part 3s. If it weren't for Dream Warriors, I'd totes go with Halloween 3. That's fair. That's fair. All right. Number 4. Oh my goodness. This one's hard. This one's hard for me, but I'm going to pick this honestly is another one where I was like, I thought this would come in at 0%, but it has 4% out of 448 votes. So that means that at least 17, 18 people voted for this out of almost 500 people. So part 4, number 5, last on the list here with 4% of the vote. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. I can't believe anyone picked that over Halloween, Child's Play, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday. That's crazy. Anybody prefers Next Generation over the final chapter? That's crazy to me. That's actually kind of insane to me. That's no judgment. It makes it, that definitely seemed like judgment. Maybe it is judgment. I don't know. But that's not the intention. It's just, it's wild. I don't know many people who love Next Generation that much, unless it's Star Trek. But, hey, it's fine. I think Vilmer, played by Matthew McConaughey, is hilarious. I think he's super entertaining, and I think Next Generation is leagues better than part 3. I find it very entertaining. I think Renee Zellweger plays it super, super straight, and Matthew McConaughey is in like a Three Stooges movie. And them playing opposite each other is hilarious. She is like going full drama class, over the top, and he is absolutely zany insane. It's like two totally different movies. I love it. I love that. I love that. The movie is stupid as shit, but I do enjoy it. But it's nowhere near the level of these other movies.
Do you want me to make you food?
Yeah, put it together.
Mustard, ketchup, and mayo.
No, ma'am.
Messed up catchard.
I'm fucking up a lot of my words
Wait,
too.
do you want onions?
So 2 Oscar
You
winners.
don't
Yeah,
want onions, right? No onions.
sure. Throw it on there. Why
It's
not?
hard to fit it on this time.
All right, coming in fourth place, with 13% of the vote, you have A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. I like this one. I quite like this one. Freddy's back. Freddy's back. We got a dog in there named after me, Jason. I like it. I don't really have a lot to say about it, but I am a fan of Dream Master. I like the first 5 Nightmare on Elm Streets quite a bit. I love the second one. I love the first and the second, and then 3, 4, and 5 I quite enjoy. 6 I don't like pretty much at all. 7 I like quite a bit, and then the remake I'm whatever on, and I don't like it. And then Freddy versus Jason, I enjoy. It's silly, but I enjoy it. I don't know if it could have been much better, to be honest. It's a silly concept. All right, coming in at third place with 22% of the vote, Bride of Chucky. This isn't surprising. Honestly, I can guarantee you right now, without even knowing, this is Kaylee's pick. She said yes. Okay, not a surprise. This is one of those love it or hate it kinds of things. Do you love silly Chucky or do you not? And there's people who love this kind of Chucky, and there's people who hate this version of Chucky. And this was like, when this came out, this was a vibe for sure. This was like, there were definitely a lot of chicks who were very into the like Tiffany aesthetic and that kind of like romance and all that part of it, and the humor, and it was like a fun time. So I like it. I'm Durton says he's a Bride fan. Bride of Chucky is a no for me. That's fine. I mean, yeah, it's just, it's, do you like silly Chucky or don't you? And that's really gonna, make your decision on Bride or Seed. Seed is one step even too far, even for people who like Bride a lot of the times, but I love both. All right, 1% higher with 23% of the vote. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, a beloved film for me. One of the most nostalgic films of my childhood. So I can't love it enough. It's definitely contender for my pick. I still haven't picked. And of course, in number 1 with 38% of the vote, this isn't too surprising to me. People love this movie. I'm one of them. Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. This is the hardest choice for me. This is the hardest choice. It's Friday or Halloween 4. I love them both for similar reasons, for different reasons. I love everything about both of them. But I'm going to go with nostalgia on this one. It's going to edge it out just this much. And that's Halloween 4. I grew up on it. I grew up on Friday 4 as well. I watched them both. But there's an atmosphere in Halloween 4 that just can't be topped for me. There's something about the way Dwight H. Little, it's all set by that opening title sequence with the like farm equipment and the fall feel and the like lull hum of the like music, and then it goes into like the dark stormy night of the ambulance pulling up to the hospital and all of that stuff, and the dialogue. I love it. I fucking love it. I love it. I can't say enough about it. So I'm gonna go with 4, Halloween 4. It's tough, but you guys heard me talk enough about Friday 4. It fucking rules. It is a wonderful slasher. It's a better slasher than Halloween 4, but Halloween 4 has better atmosphere. And I love Rachel. I love Jamie Lloyd. I love everyone. I love them all. I love everyone in that movie. I love every scene. I love every second. So, you know, I know the mask is kind of lame, but whatever. Halloween 4 has the best Halloween fall atmosphere of the whole franchise. 100%. 100%. Even better than the original for me in the atmosphere. I agree. 100%. Meeker's better than Brackett. 100%. Agreed. 100%. So there you go. Final chapter, my favorite. Final chapter, yeah. A lot of people are happy about final chapter. Corey Feldman, Crispin Glover. It's great. It's great. But if I was to want to put on either one of these to just feel like something, to feel good, I would definitely go with Halloween. So Kaylee brought me some food, so let me munch a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to get cold. Oh, yeah. Judy Aronson. Judy Aronson. Definitely the hottest from those movies. Kelly Meeker's a lot of people's chick, but I don't know. Like Kelly Meeker's attractive for sure. She's just not my type. I'd be more into Rachel personally. Actually, if I was to go after anyone in the movie, it would be Lindsay, Rachel's friend who picks Jamie up from school in the Dodge Dart Swinger and takes him to the heart. Lindsay Wallace is who it's supposed to be. She's the cutest chick in the movie. Anyway, all right. Hey, babe. Speaking of the cutest chick. All right. Part 5, moving on. What kind of sandwich? Oh, it's a burger. It's a burger. Oh, actually, I think this one has the biggest win. Oh, this one does. This one has a bigger win. Okay. Interesting. And for the first time, we have a tie. So coming in tied at 4th place and 5th place, we have both Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. What the fuck is he getting revenge for, by the way? Whatever. And Seed of Chucky. Honestly, Seed of Chucky was one that I was expecting to get less because people fucking hate it. I personally love it, but it's not surprising. So many people hate Seed of Chucky. It's one of the most hated franchise films for sure in the big 5. It's the Halloween Resurrection, the Freddy's Dead of the Chucky franchise for most people. But I hate Resurrection. I don't like Freddy's Dead. I hate Jason Goes to Hell. I usually have that, but I don't have that with Chucky. I like all the Chucky movies, although I don't like the remake. So I guess I do have a Chucky movie I don't like. Bummer. All right. Number 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 5 at 9% of the vote. The Dream Child is silly. We definitely get some like silly backstory. It is funny to me that in it, it's like, he's this like, what do they call it? The, not the baby, the son of a thousand maniacs. I don't know if they know how that works, but you can only have one father. So, and we know who it is because Robert Englund walks by the camera, right? Like we see that it's him, and it's like that's the guy who impregnates her. But they always refer to him as like the son of 1,000 maniacs, and it's like, no, his mom was raped by 1,000 maniacs, yes, but she only got pregnant by one of them. So that makes 0 sense. Oh yeah, I've heard of this unrated Dream Child cut. I've never seen it. I've seen the scenes. I think I've looked up the. I voted a Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Okay, Silent. Okay, that's cool. All right. Next up in second place, Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. I love this movie so much. Honestly, this is another one, guys. This is like Halloween 3. This is another one because it did something different, because it didn't give them people what they wanted, even though it kind of did. It just had a twist ending that made it like take away everything they got. So it's kind of like if Halloween 3, if the whole movie was Michael Myers and then at the end he pulled off the mask and it was Connell Cochran. That's kind of like what this would be like for New Beginning. I kind of find that funny because if I would love to know what the response of how Friday 5 would have been had they made the exact same film, but at the end it's just Jason. It's just Jason. He's back. He's just back. They don't explain it. He just dies and it was just Jason. In fact, honestly, I think I would prefer that, and not that it's Jason. I honestly think I would have rather an ambiguous ending. Like where he falls and they look down and they all kind of look at him, and then it cuts to the hospital and Tommy is in it. And then there would always be speculation of like, was that Jason or was that not Jason? Right? In fact, I don't know. I love the movie as is. I'm totally fine with it as is, but leaving an ambiguous ending of like, was it him or was it not, would have actually been pretty cool. Or was it Tommy or was it not? I think that would have been the preferred ending for me. But it is what it is. All right. And then coming in at number 1, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from 2003. Wow. Yeah. That one's loved. I remember seeing that, like, because Texas was the first one remade of the Big Five. Right? At that time, Hollywood was making a decent amount of really, like, lame remakes. Right? They made, like, Psycho, and everyone was like, what the fuck? And they were starting to, like, draw from that well. And when Texas Chainsaw was announced, people were pissed. They were like, no way, don't touch this thing. It's going to be awful. And it came out, and most people, like myself, were blown away. We were like, that was fucking awesome. That was awesome. That was gnarly. Like, that film feels sweaty and gross, and it just feels hard. That movie is scary. One of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in film in theaters is when Leatherface is wearing her boyfriend's face and turns around and looks at her, and he's just staring, and she's staring at her boyfriend's face stretched over some other guy's face. That's legit top 5 scariest fucking scenes I've ever watched in my life. That shit is haunting. That is haunting. To think of that, to think of like the person you love, your fiance, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, someone you're in love with. Anybody would be terrifying, don't get me wrong. But like someone you like know their face and you love them, and they turn around and it's like an uncanny valley kind of thing. Like you recognize them because of there's certain features in their skin and whatever. Like you can tell it's him, but it's clearly not him. Horrifying. Fucking horrifying. And yeah, Duritan brings up that Leatherface finds the ring he was going to propose with. That's heartbreaking. But yeah. Number 2 was Friday 5, The New Beginning, at 24%. We talked about it. But yeah, God, that scene is fucking wild. What would I pick? I think Texas Chainsaw is a good pick. I think that makes sense. I don't What would I pick personally? Probably Friday 5. I love it. I grew up on it. I've seen it 100 times. I love so many things about it. I think there's so many funny scenes. There's so many great scenes. But Texas Chainsaw's close. It's close. It's definitely the better movie. Like Texas Chainsaw feels like a legitimate scary film. Friday 5 is both slightly scary and slightly silly. It's the sleaziest of the Friday the 13th, but I do love it. But Texas Chainsaw is a great pick. It doesn't surprise me. Halloween 5, I didn't really talk about it. That's a movie that I've come to appreciate a little more over the years. And I think where I like it now more than ever is, I don't remember who said it to me. In fact, honestly, I could have made this up myself for all I know. But if you watch it like it's a giallo, it actually kind of fucking works like that, because that's like how it feels watching it. It's interesting. I really hate certain aspects of it. I really hate probably half the movie, honestly. Maybe not half, maybe like a fourth of the movie. But what I do hate, I really hate. But there is some stuff I love in there. I think the vent, like the laundry chute chase, is one of the best. Is one of the best chase scenes in the entire franchise. So it does have some glowing points to it. And there's some cool scenes throughout. And I'm a Tina defender. I know a lot of people hate Tina, so it is what it is. All right, moving on to part 6. Wait, are you talking about what's the best 5th entry in a franchise? Yes, correct. You're on it now. We all voted, man. Where you been, Keggy? Where you been? You didn't vote? You didn't vote once? All right. Part 6. Let's do this. In last place, no surprise, this should be in last place with 6% of the vote, with 504 votes. So that's still around, 30 odd people. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. It has its fans. Every movie has its fans. I always tell this to people. No matter what film you like or hate, I'm sorry, there are people out there that like it. In fact, there's people out there who love it. I don't know. Over some of these films, it's kind of crazy to me, but I'm not hating. I'm just surprised. I genuinely thought one of these would get 0%, but I don't think anything did under 4%. 4%, I think, is as close as it gets. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You can like it, you can love it, but is it your favorite part 6 of all 5 of these franchises? That's the real question. That's the real question. Yeah, the clean out your ears. There's not. Okay. The Spencer, the map says we're fucked line is hilarious. Legit top 5 funniest lines in the entire franchise. The map says we're fucked. Hilarious. I love it. I laugh every time. It's so good. So there are moments that are funny. There are moments that I like. It's just a silly ass movie that breaks the continuity of what felt. And this is the same thing that Jason Goes to Hell does. It like wants to be a final film and then just completely ignores the other films. It's like, why do that? Why? If you have 5 films in a row with Nightmare that have pretty good continuity, there's some issues, of course. There's a recasting. There's some discrepancies on like what the rules are or whatever. I don't care. I think for the most part, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 5 have a pretty good continuity. And then they're like, okay, let's make a final film. Let's kill Freddy. And then they're just like, you know what? Even though the first 5 films exist, fuck them. We'll we'll just kind of take certain elements and we're just going to make our own thing. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Even if I love the film, I would still be like, that doesn't make any sense to me, right? So I couldn't defend it even if I was like, yeah, I still love the film. I still have a good time with it. I don't. But if I did, I would still be like, that doesn't make any sense. And it's the same way I feel about Jason Goes to Hell. I feel like Friday 1 through 8 have pretty good continuity. Not great. There's plenty of things. Trust me. I point them out in every video I've made. There's continuity, though. Jason's body's in the same place that it was left from the last movie, so on and so forth. There's some continuity as to where Jason Goes to Hell is just like, fuck it, none of those movies happen. Right? It's just annoying. It's like, we're going to make a last movie. Like, imagine them doing that today. Imagine, Saw, the final chapter, just having Jigsaw back. Totally different thing. All the other films didn't happen. Now he's like supernatural and he's psychic. He, you know what I mean? It's like, what? You couldn't do it today. You just couldn't do it today. People would freak the fuck out. And most people have just learned their lesson, I think. Anyway, all right. Next up, we have another tie for third place, fourth place. Curse of Chucky, where the franchise went back to Scary Chucky and introduced us to Nika, Fiona Dourif. And Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, either cut. I put either cut. As you guys know, my preferred cut of the movie is the first 2/3 of the producer's cut, followed by the final act of the theatrical. I think most people agree on that. I think the atmosphere in part 6, especially when Kara is at college, I think that feels the most like the first one of any of the sequels. I enjoy it. I grew up on it. I do love it. I see all the flaws it has. I see how fucking silly it is. But I can't deny that I enjoy the shit out of it every time I watch it. So it is what it is. Anyway, and Curse of Chucky's great. I have a great time with it. I always love any Chucky movie. Any Don Mancini Chucky movie, any of the original Chucky show, Chucky movies, all that stuff. I love it all. So there's nothing I don't like. All right. Next one. This almost was a 3-way tie. We have 14%, 14%, and 15%. So these were all really close. At 15%, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. I am very happy that is in second place here because I think that is an insanely underappreciated film. I think that is an incredibly underappreciated film. For some reason, people love the friggin' remake and they hate the second one. They're like, oh my God. The second one's a really good follow-up. The prequel, should I say, but whatever. The next one and hey, it's the only genuine direct sequel or prequel in this entire franchise, right? All the other ones are sort of sequels, kind of. They're way in the future or they're tonally way different, right? Everything is always a sequel to the first one, ignoring all the rest. And they're all so weirdly different and nothing like the first one. At least if you watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, and then Texas Chainsaw 2003, or vice versa, you can watch them either way. They feel very similar. They have all the same characters. It feels like an actual sequel or prequel, right? As to where none of the other films in this entire franchise feel that way. None of them. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, so it's number 6 because it's the 6th, so Keggy, it's the 6th Texas Chainsaw Massacre that was made. Do you understand? So we're going on by release order. Does that make sense? All right. Coming in At number 1, with 51% of the vote, so that was even higher. I jumped the gun big time. Half the vote, with over 250 votes. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. This is no surprise, but this is a film that has not aged as well for me because I think this is a film for kids. Like, this is the silliest Friday the 13th. I love it. But it was my favorite when I was a kid. Then when I got older, Part 2 and Part 4 surpassed it. And 5. So Part 6 would probably be number... God, I don't even know where it would be, honestly, on my ranking. I actually have a ranking somewhere. Oh, my phone's in the room. Doesn't matter. But this one actually has went down a little bit for me. I still love it, but yeah, for me, out of these, it's either, oh God, that's tough. It's either Halloween 6. Halloween 6 has some serious fucking issues. I love it, but it's pretty fucking, yeah. It's probably Friday 6, honestly. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I still love it. 100% agreed. I never understand why people think Friday 6 is the best in the whole series. Oh, yeah, no. For me, it's definitely not, but I still love it. I mean, yeah. I saw someone bring up the "Now You're Playing with Power" line from Freddy's Dead. God, that movie's so fucking stupid. He brings out the freaking power glove. Killer graphics. To be honest, I noticed a certain parallel, similarly to Jason Goes to Hell, in that they're both kind of meta and reference other classic horror works. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. All right. Let's move on to Part 7. All right. Coming in at 5% of the vote out of 508 votes. So that's, as I said, that's still 25 people. This is another one that I thought maybe, although honestly, this one, I feel like it's gotten a little bit, it's starting to get a bit of a cult following. Mostly because Alexandra Daddario is a fucking knockout. Oh my God, that girl is attractive. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Texas Chainsaw, should I say, 3D. Do your thing, cuz. I really don't like it. I've tried. I really do try. Oh, yeah, Scott Eastwood is in that. That's right. I don't know. It's so fucking silly. It's so fucking silly. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I don't like it. And I've watched it probably 5 times. I've given it its chance. I can't do it. I'm not into it. You guys know. You walked out of Texas Chainsaw 3D? Wow. What movies have you guys walked out of? I've never left a movie. Not for like because I wasn't enjoying it or like any of it. Like I've had to leave a movie because my kids called or something like that and I had to leave. But I've never walked out of a movie because I was like, that's it, I give up. There's films I wish I did. There's definitely films I wish I walked out of because I was so bored or I hated them so much. But I've always stuck them out. I've always stuck them out. And I honestly wish I walked out of some of them. Ricky's never walked out. Keggy walked out of Human Centipede Part 2. Magic walked out of Rings. I actually liked Rings. Ooh, yeah, the newest Matrix. I'm a huge Matrix 2 and 3 Defender. I know a lot of people hate them. I fucking love them. I think they're fantastic. But that new one, man, that shit was rough. That shit was rough. I don't know what they were going for in that movie, but it did not work for me. I'm hoping one day to go back and rewatch Resurrections, right? That's what it's called. Why is every movie with the subtitle Resurrections shit? Oh, The Last Airbender. Terrible. Terrible. The new show's good though. Have you watched the new show? I like that quite a bit. And yes, I have seen the entirety of the original cartoon. I love it. Okay, moving on. Oh no, The Grudge 2019. I love that movie. I'm a big defender of that one. I think that's got a great aesthetic. It's got some gnarly kills. I actually dig that one. That's funny. We all have our tastes. Okay, next up, 9%. Cult of Chucky. It's a Chucky movie. I love it. This is where things really start to go like crazy. This is the movie that sets up everything in the TV show. Everything that we get from the TV show is basically like, some of it's from Curse, obviously. We get introduced to Nika and all that. But this is where Chucky splits his souls like a freaking, like a Horcrux from freaking Harry Potter or something. He's splitting his souls right and left. Voldemort only splits them into 7. Chucky splits it into like 1,000. Voldemort's a little bitch. Have seen the Japanese Ju-on Grudge and Ring movies? Yeah, of course. I've seen most of them. You walked out of The Happening. Man, people hate The Happening. All right. I saw The Happening. I was fine with it. All right. Coming in at 22% in third place, we have Halloween H2O. You guys know I fucking hate this movie. I've always hated it. I have nothing good to say about it. I've tried to watch it 10 different times in my life. I hate it every time. I know people love it. I know it's nostalgic for them. I'm not dogging on anybody. There's a difference. When people tell me they like H2O, doesn't bother me at all. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if anybody likes anything, honestly. You can like whatever the hell you want. I genuinely don't care. But I don't question when people like H2O. When someone's like, I love H2O, I'm like, okay, that's fine. It doesn't phase my brain. When people say they like Resurrection, that does phase me. That does make me step back for a second and say, like, are you serious? Most of the time I think they're kidding. And then when I see that they're not kidding, I'm like, oh, you're serious. Okay. The Ju-on show on Netflix is good. I agree. I liked it quite a bit. There's actually some pretty gnarly scenes in there that were pretty shocking. So good on that show for that. All right. Next up in second place. No. Wait. Okay. Oh, so Cult of Chucky was fourth place. Did I say third? I don't know what I said. That's fourth place. Oh, no, I did say. Okay. We're on third place. It was Halloween H2O. Okay, now I got it. In second place with 26% of the vote, Friday 7, New Blood, Carrie versus Jason. This is another one, nostalgic. I watched it recently with Kaylee. We covered it on the channel for a revisit. It's something I really enjoy. I've always enjoyed rewatching the original 8 movies, even no matter how bad they are. Like part 8 is pretty terrible, but somehow there's still a nostalgia for it. So like I overlook the insane amount of glaring flaws in it. New Blood is one I like, but it's where the franchise definitely starts to go downhill. But I dig it. I still enjoy it. It's just, and I really like the look of Jason in this. I actually think this is one of the best looking Jasons in the franchise. He's got a really, really cool look to him in this one. So I like it. And you've got freaking Bernie Lomax himself in here as her doctor, and Lar Park Lincoln from House 2. You guys know what a big House 2 fan I am. So always cool to see her. So yeah. And in first place with 39% of the vote, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This doesn't surprise me much. I would think, yeah, I guess all this voting makes about sense. New Nightmare just has the best concept by far. I mean, that's not even debatable to me. Which one of these has the best concept? It's that one. I would straight up just tell you you're wrong if you told me any of these films had better concept. So the concept is fucking, as Duritan would say, god tier for me. The execution of it is not perfect. I think it leaves stuff to be desired. But I still do enjoy it. I think the first like 1/3, maybe even 2/3 of the movie is great. And I think the final showdown is lackluster and leaves something to be desired. But there's still cool ideas in there. And shout out to the horror show and my buddy Cecil from the horror show, who directed a sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare called Dylan's New Nightmare. He got the Miko Hughes, who plays Dylan in the original film. He got him to come back and reprise his role. The movie is around 20 some odd minutes long and is the best fan film I've seen. And I'm not just saying that because Cecil's my buddy. I just wanted to give him a shout out and make sure if you have not seen it and you are a fan of New Nightmare, you absolutely should go check it out. He is in the process of trying to get another one made to follow that one up. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. And I usually don't talk about fan films because I usually think they're garbage. Okay. Moving on from that. Love that fan film. I watched it a couple times. Oh, that's cool, Duritan. Thank you. I actually got to see it in the theaters with Cecil when he first premiered it. So, and I actually was there when he asked Miko if he wanted to do it. That was super cool. We were at a horror con together. Miko was there, and he was like, "I have this idea. I want to pitch it to him." And I was like, "Do it." And he was like, "I'm gonna do it." And I watched him walk up to him and start pitching it to him, and Miko was on board. And then years later, I was watching it in a theater with both of them. It was kind of surreal, to be honest. So super, super cool. Check it out. Support him. Great guy. Cool movie. And yeah, moving on. All right. Part 8. We got to hurry up because we've already been on an hour and 17 minutes and Kaylee's going to kill me. All right. With 4% of the vote, this is a shame. It should have 0% of the vote. 0% of the vote, but somehow people picked this. Halloween Resurrection, out of 508 votes, so 20 some odd people picked this. It's fucking crazy. This movie's garbage. I'm sorry. I can't find anything. I like that they killed Laurie Strode. That's pretty much that's what I got. I don't have a lot to say otherwise. I like that Katie Sackhoff is in it. There you go. Katie Sackhoff rules. Bo-Katan herself, or Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. She's wonderful. That's it. I like that they kill Laurie Strode, and I like that Katie Sackhoff's in the movie. That's literally the only two positive things I can say. And that Freddie from Dangertainment kicking Michael has given me years of good jokes and laughter. So that's all I got. Trick or treat, motherfucker. All right. Coming in at 6% of the vote in fourth place, Leatherface 2017. Was super excited for this one. I thought the directors were going to knock this shit out of the park. And they definitely made a film that very much lined up with their style of filmmaking. So I don't think they were the right choices, honestly, for this. The twist didn't work for me. I thought it was stupid. Not a fan. I've tried to like this. Can't enjoy it. It is what it is. Let's see. Where did you go? Anyone who says Rob Zombie ruined the franchise hasn't seen Resurrection 100%. Wait, are you including Rob Zombie's movies too? Yes, that'll be part 9, which is the 9th film in the Halloween franchise. So don't worry, we're coming up on it. Okay. Next up in third place with 13% of the vote, which actually this is where I screwed up. I should have put the Child's Play remake here because this is where this would be, but I honestly forgot it existed. That's how much I don't like that movie, I guess. I straight up forgot it existed. And that's what should have been here. I screwed up. I apologize. I don't know what it would have gotten on this list, but it would have been cool to see it properly go up against these. So I apologize. I fucked up there, but I put Chucky season 1 instead. I see season 1 as one film, basically. I see season 2 as one film, so on. So I just went with the seasons to make it fun, and that got 13% of the vote. I love this. I love everything Chucky, so I can't say enough about it. Coming in at second place. This is how bad part 8s are, honestly. That Jason Takes Manhattan came in second place. Jason Takes Manhattan is terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Technically, isn't Freddy vs. Jason Nightmare on Elm Street Part 8? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that is a good segue, Keggy, for number 1 with 61% of the vote. Holy shit, that might be number 1. Oh my God, I jumped the gun big time. Freddy vs. Jason as a Nightmare on Elm Street film. 61% of the vote went to Freddy vs. Jason. This isn't a surprise. A lot of people love that movie. If I was to pick here for me out of these, Chucky season 1. Chucky season 1. Easily the best for me. Okay, moving on. Part 9 in last place, no surprise, a Nightmare on Elm Street remake from 2010 with 6% of the vote. Not many people like this movie. Not many people like this movie. Yeah, it's not beloved, to say the least. But it got 6% of the vote with 519 votes. So it got a lot of votes, honestly. It got a lot more votes than I would expect. Like, pretty much everyone I talk to hates it. Pretty much everyone I talk to hates it. And I don't think I've ever talked to anyone who straight up loves it. I have people who are like, I like it, or I enjoy it. I like that it went for a darker tone or whatever. But it's pretty rare I hear people say they love it. And to put it above 4 other films in other franchises is pretty crazy. All right. In fourth place with 13% of the vote, Chucky season 2. Yeah. I don't think enough people watch Chucky. I think a lot of people say they weren't into it. They don't watch it. I don't know why. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But you have to like silly Chucky. I like the performance. I do like the performance. I agree. I like the performance from Jackie Earle Haley. I think he's really cool. I think his makeup is lame. I like it in concept. The idea of him looking like a burn victim, I thought was cool. And this is gonna sound really mean, but he looks like he has like Down syndrome, or like he's, that's what it looks like. Does anybody else get that feel with the Jackie makeup? It makes him look like he has like Down syndrome, or you know what I mean? Okay. Anyway, I don't want to be mean. That's not trying to be mean, but it just kind of has that look to it, and it makes it silly. It makes it silly. It is what it is. All right. His makeup is horrible. So there, as of yet, 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies I haven't seen. Oh wow. And for the conversation, really quick, when it comes to Nightmare on Elm Street, with all of these franchises, he's the hardest to recreate. Chucky too. Anything with a personality, right, and a voice, and it's iconic. It's so hard, but it can be done. It can be done, right? So I think about Friday. I think about Nightmare on Elm Street versus like a Jason in Friday or a Michael in Halloween. Those are easy, right? Those are easy. You put a guy in a fucking cool costume that looks like the iconic shit, and he stabs a bunch of people, and you have a stuntman who can walk a certain way, and you're golden, right? There's not much to it. But when it comes to like a performance that actually has to be captured through this like makeup and a voice, and you have to kind of make it your own, but you also kind of have to like link it to the original, that's tough, right? But what you want to do is you kind of want to make it your own thing. Jackie did do that. It just didn't work out because it's a lame movie. I like the like scissor finger thing that he does. I think that's really cool, right? But you know, if Heath Ledger's Joker can surpass Jack Nicholson's Joker for a lot of people, when everybody was like, oh my god, you know, there no one will ever beat Jack, and who's this Heath Ledger kid and all that shit. And then now you even have you know, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, right? That a lot of other people find iconic, and that's their favorite. And you've got Cameron Monaghan's, or however you say that kid's name, from the Gotham show, who did an amazing Joker as well. And you got Barry Keoghan, who shows up in the deleted scenes of the Batman, and he'll probably play the Joker in Batman 2. They all kind of have their own iconic Joker. So it's not impossible. You just have to have the right person. I didn't forget about Jared Leto. I just didn't want to bring him up because I know so many people hate his Joker. I think his Joker's fine, but it's definitely the worst of all of them. Mark Hamill is another obvious great Joker. So anyways, okay. And moving on to second place, or third place. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This movie's dreadful. I can't stand it. It has maybe number 1 or number 2 best kill in the franchise in the unrated cut. The tent pole kill, amazing. But unfortunately, you can hang out and talk a little bit if you want. What you watching? No, you go do your thing. I wanted everyone to know what your picks were.
Oh.
Because you dropped out after 4 or 3. 3. Oh no, I said Bride of Chucky. You agreed, and then we didn't get anything. So part 5. Kaylee says.
What are the options?
What do you mean? It's the same 5 franchises. Oh, but like what they are, yeah.
I picked Seed.
Seed of Chucky. Oh man, Kaylee's not gonna be liked on that one. What about 6?
I picked Halloween 6.
Halloween 6 for Kaylee. Tim Curry's It and the New Pennywise. 100%. Perfect example, Keggy. Yes, exactly. Jason Goes to Hell is basically a remake of The Hidden. Agreed. Number 7.
New Nightmare.
New Nightmare. Yeah. Number 8.
I think I did Chucky season 1.
Chucky season 1. That was my pick as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 9.
I did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Okay, we're not done on this one yet. And Kaylee picks Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, which is in second place with 20% of the vote. This makes me happy. Even though, you know, it's not like, I don't know. There's a lot of Halloween fans. Halloween 2007 won with 45% of the vote. But that's Rob Zombie's. Oh shit. I'm thinking that's 2018. Oh shit. Yeah. A lot of people hate Rob Zombie's Halloween. Wow, that one got 45% of the vote. Shit. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. That's actually kind of wild. But a lot of these are really not liked. Jason Goes to Hell isn't liked. A lot of people didn't see Chucky, and a lot of people don't like, and most people don't like Nightmare on Elm Street. So it was kind of between Texas Chainsaw, which a lot of people don't like, and Halloween 2007, which a lot of people don't like. So this one is, for a lot of people, this is kind of like flip a coin,
Yeah.
for some people. But for me, it's easily Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Yeah.
The probably the most overlooked and underappreciated franchise film for one of the big five in years, in many
Absolutely.
years.
Absolutely.
I still, for the life of me, can't understand why people don't like it. I love it. I think it's fucking fantastic. I think the kills are gnarly as hell. I really like what they're trying to say with it. But anyways, I've talked plenty about this movie. Anyway. Architect says no, it's terrible. That's okay. You can be wrong. Sally being lifted in the air destroyed me the first time I saw her. She was so badass. Yeah. She wasn't badass on the end of a fucking chainsaw. All right. Now we're into top 10s. This is where it drops down into only 3 choices. So things should go pretty quick from here. Scout Taylor Compton is the best Laurie Strode. I said it. Okay. She hasn't had as many attempts. That's for sure. All right. Part 10s. We've got in last place with only 15% of the vote, Chucky Season 3, incomplete. So we only got half that season so far. So to be fair, and it should be Chucky Season 2, because I forgot to put Child's Play. Remake is what it is. I'm loving Season 3, so, I'm a huge fan of this. In second place with 42% of the vote. This one was so close. It's 42 and 43%. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 in second place. And in first place with 43% of the vote, Jason X. Ooh, man. This is easily Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 for me by a mile. I have a great time with X. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun movie. But Zombies Halloween 2 is a slasher masterpiece. It's top 3 of the franchise for me. I fucking love it. Although but my second, third, fourth, and fifth in the rankings are all pretty much interchangeable for me. Right? Like Halloween 4, Halloween Ends, Halloween 3, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Those are like second, third, fourth, fifth places. And you literally could put any one of them in 2, 3, or 4, and I'd be fine with it. Like, just shuffle them around any way you want. And I'd be like, okay, whatever. They're all just like tied for second for me. And then everything down from there is like, I like it or I hate it, whatever. But those are the ones that are like, I love. And they're all just like perfect Halloween movies to me. But anyway, we don't discuss April Fool's Day. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, we don't talk about that movie. You're right. Babe, you're Halloween 2 as well, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, that's easy. Where is Hatchet? Oh, yeah, it's great, but it didn't come out in the 70s or 80s, and it's definitely not part of the big 5. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is conceptually interesting, but the execution is off for me. Better than most of the franchise, though. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is really good. Yes, says Ricky Sexy Jesus Jones. All right, moving on to part 12. This is the last one of the part, the franchise stuff here. And this is between Halloween Kills and Friday the 13th, the remake. And coming in at 39% is Halloween Kills. 61% went to Friday the 13th, 2009. I don't know what I'd pick here. Halloween Kills, probably. I'm not a big fan of Friday 2009. I did watch, the only reason I'm kind of like, is because I did watch like half of it, a couple, like maybe within the last week when I was prepping for that, how I would handle the franchise TV series thing. I watched it while I was writing that script, and I actually liked it more this time than I ever have. And Halloween Kills is silly. It has some silly shit. The Evil Dies Tonight and all that stuff is goofy. Them chasing Danny DeVito's penguin around thinking that it's Michael Myers. That stuff is super fucking stupid to me. But he does slaughter like 100 fucking people.
So many people.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's some really great gore. There's some really cool kill sequences.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just there for the kills, then Halloween Kills should be your favorite Halloween movie because it's fucking gnarly. So you skipped 11 altogether. That's funny. Halloween, yeah, Friday 13th, 2009 is beloved. I don't get it either, but I'm coming around on it. I don't think I'll ever love it, but I like it. I don't hate it. You like it a lot.
Kills?
No, Friday remake.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I do like it quite a bit. I like what they do with Jason in there.
Okay.
I like his tunnels.
Yeah. I love Halloween Kills, but you skipped 11. Skipped 11? I didn't skip 11. Oh, did I? Oh, I did. Oh, thank you. Okay. I did pan up too much. So part 11, this one was really close. Shit. Yeah, thank you for telling me I skipped this. It's Freddy vs. Jason as a Friday film and Halloween 2018. 47% went to Freddy vs. Jason and 53% went to Halloween 2018. That's close. That's super close. I mean, it almost went 50-50 there. So that's slightly surprising, but there's a lot of nostalgia for Freddy vs. Jason for people.
Oh, yeah.
And when they saw that in theaters, you didn't experience it like I did because you didn't see it in theaters and you weren't waiting for it like we were. You weren't getting the teases forever on Fangoria and at the end of Jason Goes to Hell when Freddy's glove comes up and pulls his mask under. And they talked about this movie for 10 fucking years. They were making it. And we just never thought it was going to happen. So getting into that theater and seeing it was just like, it felt surreal.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was like fun and the concept made sense, like the way they wrote it, where he was like, no one was paying attention to Freddy anymore. And he had to go into Jason's dreams and act as his mother and all that. That was smart. That was a smart script in that way. So it's cool. And I do dig it. I do dig it. Of these two, Halloween's the better movie. Freddy vs. Jason's more fun. Ooh, that's tough. Probably Halloween. And then part 13, I did put here for fun. I just put Halloween Ends twice. One Halloween Ends got 26%, and then another one got 74%. I don't know what compelled people. I thought people would try to keep it 50-50.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people this shows you people have very sheepish behavior. They see that one's getting voted for more, so they immediately click on it. I love Halloween Ends. You guys all know that. I fucking adore it. I would pick it up against, plenty of other films. All right. Second to last one here. So now we're going all the way back to number 1 to finish off the franchise. This will be of no surprise, but honestly, the percentage is a teeny bit of a surprise to me. So this is for part 1 of all of the franchises. We actually have 3 more, unfortunately. Babe, I'm almost done.
I
Promise. So coming in at last place at 7% is Friday the 13th. This isn't super surprising. It's just surprising it's so low. 7% is pretty crazy. Coming in at 4th place at 8% is Child's Play. That's not surprising. Honestly, I would think that would have the least. I would think that would have the least amount of fans of the community. But maybe, I guess not. I guess Child's Play. Friday has takes it over Child's Play for part 1. That's kind of crazy. In third place with 13% of the vote, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 13%. Second place with 25% of the vote, Nightmare on Elm Street. A Nightmare on Elm Street. And no surprise here, the most beloved movie in the horror community that everyone loves to talk about endlessly, with 47% of the vote, half, Halloween, 1978. It's also my pick.
Yeah.
It's my favorite film.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an easy pick for me. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was just 100% Halloween. But there's a lot of Texas Chainsaw Nightmare fucking freaks. So, you know, Nightmare is got the closest with 25%. It took a fourth, but Halloween took half. And then 3 other films took a fourth together. So that shows you how these stack up against Nightmare and Halloween. This one's the most interesting to me, to see what the horror community in general thinks of these franchises stacked up against one another in each of these departments, but especially part 1. Yes, like the architect says, all 5 are amazing. I love all 5. They're they're incredible. But Halloween being the winner is no surprise. That's no surprise. Honestly, I was never huge into Friday the 13th. Loved the ending when Jason comes out of the water, but didn't really latch onto the franchise until part 3. That's fair. All right. Now, which remake of the big 5 do you prefer? Here's where the remakes are put up against each other. All right. Coming in at last place, no surprise, 4%, Nightmare on Elm Street. This is no surprise. Pretty much everybody hates this movie. Coming in at 5% in fourth place is Child's Play 2019. This is a little surprising to me because that one seems to have quite a bit of love to it. That one seems to have like 50% of people who saw it loved it and 50% of people who saw it hated it. I'm actually surprised that's at 5%. But it hasn't been out very long. So that could be it. Maybe it'll grow on people for a while. Ricky picked Nightmare on Elm Street. That's hilarious. He's one of the 5 people. Coming in at third place, Halloween 2007 with 15% of the vote. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's Rob Zombie, so a lot of people hate it, but 15% is pretty high. For Halloween, I'm actually kind of surprised a bit, but it has its fans. So there you go. I mean, you can see that Halloween definitely has its fans. 21% of the vote, Friday the 13th, 2009, 21% of the vote. That's about right. I would say a lot of people are Friday fans, but coming in with 56% of the vote, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, agreed. Absolutely agreed. Of these 5, it is definitely the best remake. For me, it's easily the best remake. Halloween would probably be my second. Then it would be Friday. Then it would be Nightmare on Elm Street, and then it would be Child's Play. And for you?
Texas Chainsaw.
Texas as well. Hills Have Eyes is good. Texas Chainsaw is a great remake. I forgot Texas Chainsaw remake. 2003 is epic. Yeah, everybody loves 2003 Texas Chainsaw. All right. And then, what the hell? Where's the vote? For some reason, it's not showing me the vote here. What the fuck? Hey, babe, can you give me my phone? I don't understand. What happened? The vote disappeared on this one. It's not on here. Maybe it'll show up on my phone? How bizarre. Okay, here it is. I don't know why it's not coming up on the computer. I even refreshed it. Whatever. All right, last one, guys, and then I got to go. So the question is, which one of the big five do you want a new film from the most? This one's different. This one might be different than you will expect. But it actually makes perfect sense when you think about it for a second. But coming in last place, tied for 5%, Child's Play and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Child's Play did just have a new movie announced. Don Mancini is working on a movie currently, and I'm assuming, of course, it will take place after season 3 or 4 or whatever and play into that continuity. Texas Chainsaw as well at 5%. Next up, it's 6%. This one's surprising. 6%. Halloween. As much as people love Halloween, they're not as excited for the next two. 40%, Nightmare on Elm Street. And in first place, Friday the 13th with 44% of the vote. So 84% of the vote went to Friday and Nightmare. This makes obvious perfect sense because Halloween, Child's Play, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre have all had things come out in the last 2 years. So it makes the most sense. Halloween Ends came out in 2022. Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 2022. And Child's Play season 2, or Child's Play, but Chucky season 3, came out last year, and we have new episodes airing in a couple weeks. So it makes perfect sense. We haven't gotten a Friday the 13th film since 2009. We haven't gotten a Nightmare on Elm Street film since 2010. Makes perfect sense. It's been a long time coming. But the only one that has nothing confirmed, nothing being discussed currently, is Nightmare on Elm Street. That has nothing. We have a Halloween TV series currently in the works. We have a Friday the 13th TV series currently in the works. We have a Child's Play television show that's airing currently and has a movie currently in the works. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre supposedly has a film in the works that they keep talking about. Hope it's a sequel to the Netflix film. Remains to be seen. That's my hope. But as far as A Nightmare on Elm Street, nothing. Nada. We got nothing on that front. So, yeah. If I had to say, I'm gonna go with Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to see a really successful new Freddy. I want to see a Freddy that is wholly different from Robert Englund and even Jackie. I want to see a Freddy that really lands with audiences, and to make a few films with him. So that's the one I think that I would like to see have the most success of these. And I would love to see, because we've only really ever had Robert Englund's Freddy. And obviously that's, I could see them definitely trying to bring Heather Langenkamp and Robert Englund back for like one final movie kind of thing, do what Halloween 2018 did. I could absolutely see them trying to do that. Would I watch it? Absolutely. But what I probably would prefer is to get a new person and to really work on trying to get Freddy as appealing and as successful as possible. So there's that. We'll see what happens. Guys, I gotta go. It's been almost 2 hours, and you guys have been great. It's been a good time, and thank you for everyone for voting. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone for participating. I really do appreciate it, and look forward to tons of reviews coming soon. We watched a whole bunch of stuff, but we just haven't been able to record. So we got the Sting review coming up here on Monday. Look forward to that. That's coming out in theaters on the 11th, early day release. I'll probably review Godzilla Kong. I'm going to go see it with my kids this weekend. And we got a bunch of like spider movies and all sorts of shit. Giallos. We're watching all sorts of stuff. And we're going to go watch something now. So close to 20K. I know, so close. We're working on the channel. We're putting in all the effort imaginable. I'm going to grow the channel. I'm committing myself so much time to it every day. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. You've all been wonderful. And good night, guys. Thank you.